All right. Hi, everyone. This is Kaylee Fitzgerald, and here's my leadership philosophy after taking this course. So, what is leadership to me? So, a little bit of background about me. I'm currently a senior, and I play on the volleyball team here at UAlbany. So, I've been playing volleyball since I was 8, and I've been on a team for volleyball since I was 8. Previous to that, I was a dancer, but dance is very individualistic. So I didn't have a lot of experience, like as a young child, within a leadership position. And so when I first started out with volleyball, it was very much, I thought it was better to be kind of authoritarian and kind of, have one or two people that are overseeing everyone else and kind of bossy, or like just specifically listen to the coach, and there's no leadership within the team. Obviously, I was a child and I grew to be a lot older, and through that I gained a lot more experience, and I saw what it took to be on a successful team. So leadership to me is the capacity to influence, motivate, and guide a group of people towards a common purpose or vision. So in this case, I had a lot of experiences with our common goal being winning a national championship for club, or short-term goals being taking first at travel tournaments. And a leader is someone who has the vision and the expertise and the ability to guide those others to success. And then also, this is really important, being able to effectively communicate and encourage their team to achieve these set objectives. Setting a clear direction for a group and making crucial choices and offering advice and support to assist and like help team members out really does improve people's potential. And these are all examples of leadership to me. Strong communication skills, empathy, which I learned much later on, probably not until I was end of high school, early college. And the capacity to develop trust and connections, and the desire to accept responsibility for team successes, but also team failures, and especially overall well-being of a group or a team is really crucial to effective leadership. So there are about 3 theories and concepts that we learned about, discussed over this course, that I really did relate with, and I'll get more in depth into those right on. First, authentic leadership theory. Second, personal responsibility, which combines with an overlap and openness to learning as a concept. And then knowing, being, and doing as a concept. I would say that all 3 of these really tie well into each other and are able to create a pretty cohesive leadership philosophy. I would say like these go hand in hand with each other. So for me, all 3 of these are really easy to relate to, but also to implement. So authentic leadership theory, so some main attributes, is that you're able to build trust. So authentic leaders are able to build trust with their followers by being transparent and honest in their communication and actions. And so in order to be true to their values and beliefs, authentic leaders can really create that sense of trust and credibility. So kind of like that ethos. And then also encouraging open communication is huge, and actively seeking out the ideas of their followers, making their environment one where people are comfortable to speak out is really big, and it can really foster a culture of creativity and collaboration, which can lead to better problem solving when times get really, really tough. Additionally, fostering a really positive relationship. Their authentic leaders are really good at building relationships naturally, I would say, and these are based on mutual respect and also, again, trust. As someone who spends 24/7 with her teammates, this is really key. Like building those really strong connections on and off the court is the biggest difference in seeing a success and seeing no success. But yeah, by creating strong relationships, it creates a sense of community and shared purpose that inspires followers to work together. So that also touches on my last point. Inspiring motivation and engagement. Authentic leaders are able to inspire their followers by being motivated and engaging connections with their values and their passions. So I would say individually, I'm very, very passionate about my sport, and that is something that can be felt by others around me. And again, the main goal of this is to achieve great things and overcome any challenges along the way. So, why did I find that authentic leadership was key to me, and how can I use it? So, I have played at 2 different schools, at the University of Hartford and now at Albany. At my first school, I was a captain of the women's volleyball team, and there I found myself in a leadership position really young as a freshman and a sophomore. And again, for me, it focused on being able to build connections with people and use my kind of not natural personality traits, but just like things that I found came pretty easy to me, such as being super competitive and being so passionate about my sport, and how it was always 100% effort every single day, and everyone else saw that around me, and therefore that's what was appreciated and seen by others. And so it gave me more authority to speak out, but also not authority, but not necessarily authority, but just more respect when I was speaking, because I had more credibility behind my persona. And then also, like, I just have a very strong sense of self, and I would say I'm not pessimistic. I'm pretty optimistic, and so people really like to follow people with a positive mindset. So for me, being an authentic leader, I'm able to build those positive relationships really easily. Naturally, just because we spend so much time together, but also because when I talk to someone, I usually talk to someone for a very long time and get to really know them. And then also, I'm very open and I'm pretty vulnerable about my individual like thoughts and everything, and I feel like that really creates and can and will create an environment where people feel safe to talk to me and to open up, which makes us definitely stronger on the court. And then moving on, personal responsibility and openness to learning. This was also my second choice. So I found that some main attributes of this were asking questions is really a tool for improvement, which does touch again with the second bullet point of growth mindset and fixed mindset. So, like having a learning mindset, effective leaders have to have a growth mindset and are open to learning and trying new things. And they really seek out opportunities for personal and professional development. And they're willing to take risks in order to grow and improve. I found that when I was younger, I really struggled with this one. Just being like always on a top team, always not saying that I didn't work hard, but just expecting that like, success would come. And then being on teams where we weren't as successful, being kind of disappointed, but then also just trying to place blame rather than like being open to learning and like trying to put the blame on someone else versus what can I do to be better. And that was, immaturity talking. And then also moving on, adaptability and open to new perspectives is really huge. We're able to adapt to changing circumstances and are flexible in their approach. They're open to new ideas and perspectives. And they're willing to change course when necessary, which is really, really big. I think that I hate bringing up the pandemic, but as a group of students who experienced so much change within the last few years, I would say that a lot of us naturally are very adaptable to ever changing environments. And then I'd also like to touch on humility. Effective leaders are really humble, and we have to realize like we don't have all the answers. So we again have to be open to feedback and have to be willing to admit when we're wrong, rather than placing the blame. So overall, why open to learn? How can I use this? I mean, this is critical. These are critical attributes for effective leadership in general. Um, Leaders can really create a culture of accountability, growth, and openness that fosters that innovation and that learning and that success. As someone who, again, I hate bringing this up constantly, but as someone who's played sports or just volleyball for so long and been on so many different types of teams, successful and very unsuccessful teams, and then also with my personal intention of being able to collegiately coach in the future, I think I can take this all in many ways and apply all these principles. I have to be able to take responsibility for my actions and my decisions, even if they're successful, even if they're a failure, and I can really set an example for my team by taking responsibility and owning my mistakes, but then also showing a willingness to learn from them. My teammates see me mad. My teammates definitely see me upset when I know I can do better, but then they also see that the reason why I'm upset is because I care and because I know I can do better. And then also encouraging my own team members to take responsibility when I become a coach. So like when I have when I'm older and I have players, I really want to be able to encourage them to take personal responsibility and accountability for their own performance rather than blaming it on each other. But this also can involve setting clear expectations, providing feedback, and then holding each other accountable without me having to ask them. And I think that the more that I grow as a leader and the more leadership experiences and opportunities that I have, I've also definitely grown as a person, because everything that I've learned from the extreme emotions of sports in general, and just knowing when to be calm, when you just have to let things go, whether it's a bad call, whether your teammate messes up and it's for volleyball and it's a game point and you're like, dang, like we could have had that. Like you just have to, but again, that touches on my last point. Like you have to be able to learn from failure and take that feedback and take those failures and learn from them. So, moving on, final concept is knowing, being, and doing. So this frames 3 different aspects within one. And so knowing is the knowledge. It's the skills, it's the competencies that a leader has to possess in order to be effective. So this can be technical expertise, as in like for volleyball, it's my skill set. It's what I know, my volleyball IQ, which I definitely would say is a strength of mine. Compared to other people that I've played with, I definitely have such a high volleyball IQ after playing for so long. And then also being strategic and not always being an emotional decision maker, but then also continuously learning, as I talked about and aforementioned. And then moving on, being, so this refers to my individual qualities and my own values that I need to embody in order to inspire and motivate others, or a leader in general. This is integrity, it's emotional intelligence, it's also resilience. So, to be able to handle the stress and adversity and then come into the gym or come into the workplace or wherever and be able to bounce back from things that didn't go your way. And then moving on, number 3 is doing, and this is the final one. So this refers to actions and behaviors that leaders have to do in order to achieve the results. Because setting examples through action is huge. So goal setting, leaders have to be able to set clear goals for their team. And then also communication. Again, communication is huge. I keep mentioning it. And just open, direct, and honest communication is always super key. And then also, last one is kind of forgotten about, but delegation, because leaders can't take everything on by themselves. And so we have to be able to delegate tasks and responsibilities effectively in order to put the team in its best position. So figuring out people's strengths and their talents. So how can I apply this to real life? And why is this so important to me? Again, as you know, my background, it's really just a day-to-day thing that I am so unaware of before this class. Like, I was so unaware of it before taking this class that these are things that I already excel in, but then also ways that I can improve. So, just like I mentioned, knowing that, for volleyball, it's the skill set of the sport, and then also watching a lot of film. That's a huge part of knowledge, is just being prepared for me. And that's how I can use, knowing. And then also being, which is just, who you are and who you model you are. So, positive behaviors and values, but that specifically includes respect, integrity, and a commitment to excellence at the highest degree. And then also, lastly, doing is, it involves taking action to achieve my goals and create my positive change. So I have to be proactive in problem solving and providing feedback and support. So, or as a coach, to my players, so that way they enjoy their college careers at all and they can experience the success that I also desire for them. And also emotional support, which is very underrated for a lot of athletes. So then, overall, my reflection of this course. So, what did I really find challenging? Leadership is a really broad spectrum, and it really varies from the collection of different experiences that people have. And it also really depends on the needs of each group. In my experience, different teams have different needs. Some teams have, I've had to devote more time to than others, just because of, who you might be interacting with day to day, and who your coaches might be. So for me, kind of reflecting and trying to understand all the different, specifically teams that I've played on, and condense that into one core idea and just what I find to value the most. It proved to be a bit overwhelming. And then also, but I did, what did I enjoy? I really enjoyed reflecting on my own experiences, on the flip side, and being able to pair learning leadership concepts with my own experiences and my own qualities, whether they were really, really good, experiences and qualities, or were they, a chance to learn from them, or what one might call a failure, which isn't a bad thing. And then also, what did I learn? I was also able to really, again, evaluate myself and my leadership skills. So where I fall short and being able to have the humility to say it out loud, like, okay, this is where, or recognize, like, this is where I fall short. But then also to be like, wow, like, I already am doing a pretty good job at, a younger age of leadership because this is where I all excel. Um, and I also never really paid attention to what followers look for in a leader, and that's the most important way to gain followers. I kind of was always just I was very much tied into authentic leadership, but to a point where I was almost sometimes too much myself, and I needed to just let things go sometimes and more like let my own objectives go versus like the betterment of followers or the team. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed my reflection. I really enjoyed this class, so hope you guys did too.